Davie, we're here at the launch of the Quality Street Gang book. Does it still fill you with a sense of pride to be part of that?
Yeah, that's exactly right. First of all, proud to have been a Celtic player, but at that particular era, we just come after Celtic won in the European Cup in Lisbon. We trained with that group every day who helped our development as players under the manager Jock Stein. But it was a great group of young players. We played together in reserves, developed a strong bond, and then we were all fortunate, the bulk of us, to make it in the first team.
How important was that bond you developed when you all made the step up to the first team? Was it a case you could then hit the ground running, so to speak?
It did help. It helped what I mentioned earlier, the fact that we were training with the Lions every day. So it wasn't as if we turned up on a Saturday and just meeting them for the first time. But you're right, the affinity and the bond we had between one another, it helped the team spirit when we broke through to the first team and we were all playing regular together.
It's a question I've asked a number of your teammates, but what was it like when you first came into training and you seen the Lisbon Lions?
It was pretty awesome, to be honest with you. We used to train changing the way dressing in the first team, and what we learned was keep your mouth shut, don't say anything, do what you're told. And that was the instruction we followed. We never stepped out of line. Okay, when we made it a wee bit, we could maybe answer back a bit then, but initially keep quiet.
Was there anyone in particular that gave you words of advice or like a helping hand?
No, it wasn't so much words of advice, it was just the fact you learn through training on a daily basis under the guidance of Jock Stein. There was also Sean Fallon there at the time, Nearly Muckin the trainer, and Willie Ferner, another coach, who'd all played with Celtic. And they taught you the importance of playing with Celtic, what it meant to the supporters and that. And that was a big factor in helping us develop into the players we became for Celtic.
Can you still remember your debut?
No, I can't really, to be honest with you. You know, it seems that it might have been, I came off the bench against Aberdeen, I remember saying, I think it may have been then. And always, the team was winning, and it was the days I think there was only maybe a goalkeeper and outfield player sub. I think always influence coming on, don't make a mistake. And through that, your confidence grows, and eventually that aspect goes out. But initially, it's fine the reserves, but the first team was make sure you don't do anything silly or make any mistakes.
Well, aside from that, is there a game that stands out for you in particular that you always kind of remember fondly?
I think it was, I always enjoyed the Rangers games, because invariably we'd beat them, not all the time, but and you knew what it meant to the supporters, but you knew what it meant to yourself. There's no better feeling than playing Rangers and beating them. But there was other games, the European games were special, the two games against Leeds, particularly the game at Hampden, but conversely the biggest disappointment I had in my life was when we lost European Cup final to Feyenoord, when probably the problem was we thought we were going to beat them before a ball was kicked. Unfortunately it wasn't the case.
Now, looking at the team, is it perhaps surprising just how many world-class players were produced from what was a Celtic reserve team at that time?
It is. We all end up becoming internationalists, you know. About half a dozen of us, you know. Why it happened, I don't know. Okay, at that time, not only Celtic, but other teams in Scotland had a fair group of young Scottish players coming through as well. Well, why it happened, probably don't know the answer, you know. A lot of people have put cases in why it did was greater determination with the players, was there less to do then, but it was just that whatever the reason was, it was a great time to play with Celtic.
And speaking of coming through the ranks, in the current Celtic team there's James Forrest, who's made it through the academy of course, and what's your thoughts on him?
I think he's exceptional talent, he's quite, hopefully he stays clear of injuries, that hasn't helped him maybe in his development of the last season. You can't forget Charlie Mulgrew, he came through the academy as well, albeit he left Celtic and came back in that. The academy under guidance here at Chris McCart is second to none, and in time you're hoping more and more players come through the system and play with the first team, but I think since it started there's been a fair amount of players have made it to the first team, and I think that is their target, first team players for Celtic and Champions League players in particular.